my GOAT, showing why he's not just the best footballer, best basketball player in the world. He's showing why he's the best father in the world. You know
Okay.
what I mean? Like, but is there a time where you got to separate work and family? Because obviously, a lot of people talk about his son, and he's held his tongue. But last night, he's come and he's put it on Stephen A. Smith.
Right.
And Stephen A. Smith's come out today and spoke about the situation. So how do you feel about that whole situation?
I feel like LeBron was right to in a situation where you're going to stick up for your child regardless. But I feel like you have to separate your child from being an NBA player and it being your child, because the NBA player is allowed to be critiqued.
Okay.
You get what I mean? And where I think LeBron's going is leave my son out of it. He's critiquing your son because your son is the one that's bringing the talking points, and that's Stephen A's job. Do you get what I mean? I'm in agreement with LeBron for confronting it, because man to man, you're going to confront someone that's coming at your son regardless. But at the same time, you got to look at it from a perspective of, okay, cool. He is reporting on what he's being told to report on. Well, it's Stephen A's show, so really and truly, he's reporting on what he wants to report on. But you have to separate the family part when it comes to your son being in or being a professional athlete. Because if they're talking about him as an athlete, yeah, you can't then complain about what he's saying. If he's talking about him personally, say whatever you feel like to him. But I feel like the backlash has also come from LeBron saying earlier, like last year, that his son can play in the NBA now. He's better than, you get what I mean, a lot of players in the NBA. And that has obviously come across as, we can see now, he wasn't. It's not true. He's not as good as him. And that was the father talking. And last night was also the father talking to Stephen A. Smith. So I understand the confrontation, but I'm also in agreement with where you can't really go at him for calling your son a not up to par basketball player right now, because it's not a lie. But as a father, you're going to do anything to protect your child. So I understand it from that perspective as well. So I get both sides, but and
I hear you.
the last thing I want to say is, if something is done publicly, everything has to be done publicly. So, Stephen A said, I want it to be private. He said that's not how it works, because you said everything you wanted to say for the whole world, millions of people to see. So LeBron did it in front of millions of people also. So I understand that as well.
No, I hear you. My point of view is, I hear what you're saying, and LeBron did set himself up with his son with that tweet. But you're going to big your son up in the story. Like, as your child, you're going to big your child up. I feel like people scrutinize Bronny more because he's obviously LeBron's son, which is wrong.
Yeah.
Like, for me personally, I don't think that's right. But also because it's like, people go on like Bronny was top 20 draft pick. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
He was second round, 55th pick. Like, he gets garbage minutes. People expect him to put up 10, 5, and 5 in 2 minutes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get you.
So, like, I think that's what I mean. Like, people sitting there and they're calling him a bum. Like, he's doing work. He doesn't even say, Bronny don't say nothing. He just does his work in the GD and comes out. So I feel like LeBron, in very much, in a way, has his right to say. Do you know what I mean? Like, as much as it's LeBron James' son, I don't care. You don't play any sport and play in a professional level and a highest level just for being somebody's son.
No, unless you're Giannis's brother.
Unless you're Giannis's brother. And again, even Giannis's brother, before, if you look at him, he was putting in work before he was with Giannis. Do you know what I mean? Was he with the Knicks, was it?
Thanasis.
Yeah, where was he before?
I don't actually know where Thanasis was before he was with them, but he don't play anyway, so
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But like, I feel like the way they talk, I feel like it is to get at LeBron James.
Of course, it's all to get at LeBron James.
Do you know what I mean? And it's so unnecessary because he's a young kid. He's just trying to make his way his career. You don't hear Bronny talking. You don't hear nothing. You know what I mean? The guy's come back from open heart surgery, whatever it is. Yeah. And as LeBron, I feel like, I feel like he's very much right in the way how he's addressed the situation. I feel like if it was just strictly basketball and it wasn't to do, he's LeBron's son, everything, you know what I mean? Because it's not just they say basketball, they'd be like, oh, LeBron, why have you done this? Why have you put him in this situation? LeBron. It was like, okay, Bronny's done this. But no one else talks about all the other draft players or nothing like that. It's always all right. It's
Bronny is the lowest draft pick that's talked about like a number one draft pick ever.
ever. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
And to be fair, like, and I don't care. Like, even if it is Steve LeBron, it's as a general man, as an owner, and that it makes so much sense to draft Bronny James. He's paid back. He's paid back every penny that he's owed already.
100%.
So
He's
I
made
don't
them
understand
more
what.
money.
Exactly. It's like saying, you know what, Man. It's like going if Man United signed Ronaldo Jr.
Yeah, they're gonna make back all their bread.
You're gonna make back all your money. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying, and when United brought him on when they're 5-0 up or they're 4-0 down. Do you know what I mean? It's gonna get the fans. You're gonna sell shirts.
That's all. That the Bronny move isn't that though. It is a basketball move. It's a basketball move for the future, I believe.
Yeah.
But, you know, when you draft a player that low or in the first round, but you know, back into the first round, you don't expect him to come in and be a superstar. You expect him to do
around 55th pick.
This is the thing. You expect him to come in and do what he's doing. You get what I mean? Like, treat him how his position in the draft was treated.
Exactly.
Like, we all understand that. I feel like everyone understands that, but because obviously LeBron, as you said, it is to get at LeBron James. It's not to get at the son, because what is there to get at Bronny for?
Exactly.
But you know when they're saying, "Oh, he's not an NBA player," I'm thinking, bro, the people that are saying he's not an NBA player have never been in the NBA. So how can you say that?
You know what I mean? Like, what about all the other players that are just there and they make up the sub bench?
This is the thing. We don't know the names.
Then people are like, "Oh, he's taking someone else's space." The same person would be doing the same shit.
We don't know their names. We do not know their names.
Who was number 5 in the draft? I couldn't tell you.
This is the thing.
Who was number 1? I couldn't tell you who number 1 was.
The French brother that went to Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah.
But this is the thing. Like, I understand. But the only reason why I believe this draft class, because the draft class that's just gone was bad. Yeah, it was very bad. Well, not very bad, but it was like, in terms of like superstar status, no one really caught the eye. So Bronny James was the biggest thing in the draft. So it was like, okay, cool. Because we don't really care about anyone else, we're gonna go after Bronny James.
We're gonna go about Bronny.
It's the biggest story. And you know, because it provides storylines, and I've been saying it for years now. LeBron James has been paying the light bills in ESPN's, in Fox's buildings for years. Yeah. And what they're now doing is Bronny James is going to be the person that pays it for the next 15 to 20 years.
Yeah.
That's what they're just setting up.
Did you know that the TV turns off and after the first round draft and the screen's not even on?
Yeah, I know that.
He was so late in the draft, people probably forgot that the draft was still going on at the time.
This is the thing, bro. You have to watch it on the ticker.
Yeah.
To find out who's got drafted after that. No one really, if you're not in the green room, if you're not there, no one actually, unless you're a super basketball fan, which I am, like, you don't really look at it. Do you get what I mean?
Adam Silver probably left the draft building long time before that. He didn't mention Bronny their name. He probably left and they probably just got a text saying, "No, you're being drafted 55 to the State Lakers."
Yeah, but he knew he was getting drafted to anyway.
Exactly.
But I feel like there's a time, because if you were in that situation, what would you do? You have to say, if your son plays football, yeah, he comes in, there's a reporter sport talking bad about your son, but you're playing at the same time, but it's to get at you. What are you doing? Are you doing the same thing LeBron is doing? Because it's just you're going to protect yourself.
We're not even. I'm doubling down. Like, let's throw hands. Like, you don't talk about my son because of me, because you don't like me.
This is the thing. Like, and that's my thing. But I understand where Stephen A is coming from on his perspective, because it's a case of like, okay, he can see that what LeBron James has said, and he's compartmentalizing what LeBron James has said. He's seeing Bronny's performance and going, okay, as a basketball player. But it's when you attack the person, it becomes a problem. And that's where my issue kind of lies with it. You can't ever attack the person because you don't like them. And I feel like that's what a lot of the journalists are now doing, attacking the person instead of actually attacking the performance of the player.
Yeah, correct.
And if you've never done it, I'm not saying you can't speak on it, but if you've never done it to that level, you don't have a clue what goes into it. So, you know, it's empty calories, just words.
Facts.
It can't be that, but it seemed to be that all the time. It's sad, but yeah, LeBron was definitely right.